I have been a little bit like one bike that does it all, city highway tour kind of a guy. So for me the 390 makes more sense. So if you're wondering which motorcycle to buy among the three, I probably am one of the better persons to answer that. The 125 will be for those who want to save on fuel cost. Yeah, fuel costs are going up. This is the answer to you. If you're in the college, if you're a student, this motorcycle is going to make a hell of a lot of difference to your life, because you're going to save a lot on fuel bills. So you probably can make that weekend long trip, because you know the fuel bills will be manageable. I know a lot of people, college students, who buy bigger motorcycles and they feel that's great, it's good for showing off and everything, and I totally agree that if you have a bigger bike in college, you definitely get that image thing, but you do have the issue of that weekend trip costing 3,000-4,000 rupee in fuel. On this one, that's gonna be much less compared to the 390, maybe even half of that, and that's gonna be one of the major things of reasons of choosing this bike. Secondly, if you don't do highways, if you're gonna always stay in the city, you don't need that power. That's gonna be a good market. Thirdly, if you're a parent looking to buy your son a motorcycle, you don't want him to have too much power in his hand. You don't trust him. You don't think that he's capable of handling that power. But you don't want to give him a motorcycle with bad brakes or relatively worse braking performance. You want him to be safe. You want that ABS, the bigger disc and the wider tires, but you don't want the power, because he's going to misuse it. Parents are going to love this if they understand safety. So who's going to buy the 200? The 200 is going to be, you know, for that guy who feels that I need a bit more power, I need it to take occasionally to a trip or two in the highway, and there I might actually need that power, and I don't mind spending a little bit more on the fuel. So the 200 is kind of like in the middle. The 250 is from where you're looking at a decent all-around motorcycle, and the 250 isn't insanely faster, so somebody choosing the 250 over the 200 with a much higher pricing is obviously looking for that styling point of view, because as you leave the 200 you get the 390 styling from the 250, not the LED but the halogen lamp, but the bodywork is the same as the 390. You get a lot of oomph factor. Slightly higher than that, you get something called the Duke 390, my favorite, the absolute, you know, best motorcycle I think that you can buy under 4 lakh rupees. City, highway, touring, 2-up touring, cornering. Man, that bike does so well in the tracks. I have done some cornering on the 390. I mean, because of the better geometry, the front end feel. I mean, this bike, you know, still is more flickable, but in corners I just don't get that much confidence as I get on the 2017 Duke 390, and that's the main reason for me to buy the 2017 Duke 390 over any other motorcycle, is in the front end feel. So if you want one motorcycle that absolutely, even after 2 years of launch, almost 2 years it has come out, even after that it looks even after 2 years of launch, if you okay, so as I was saying, even after 2 years of launch, the motorcycle gets amazing attention on the roads. It looks great. I mean, I posted some photos of the new 390 on Instagram, and we got close to 3,000 likes. So a little plug for my Instagram. Do check out all the amazing photos we have done for this motorcycle on Instagram. I'll be uploading a full series of 9 photographs at least for the Duke 125, since it's such a hot property right now. But we got so many likes on the Duke 390's photos. So that's motorcycles here. You know, you're not gonna outgrow that motorcycle very soon if you go for the 390. You're gonna like that motorcycle for the next 3-4 years, and even when you step out to the bigger bike, that bike is gonna perform as your second bike's duties, your city bike duties. Recently I was riding riding for a premium motorcycle brand, a lot of those guys who had those premium motorcycles had the Duke 390 as the second bike, the city bike. So that's the sort of KTM's current crop of market share and their customer base. A lot of KTM owners are actually super bike owners, and they might buy the 790 when it comes out, but for now they have kept the 390 or even the 200 as their second motorcycle while they're enjoying the bigger bikes on the highways. So that's the thing. I mean, KTM in a smaller package offers you the same dynamics, the same sort of handling, not the exact same, but the same sort of handling of a bigger naked bike. And that is why when you buy these motorcycles and you transition onto your bigger bikes a few years later, that is where you're gonna feel that you're right at home. You have more power, but the bike, as with the rounded profile tires and the frame, the way it tilts into the corner is the same way the bigger motorcycles tilt into the corner. I think without owning a super bike, if the reason I ride bigger bikes so well without owning one is the reason that I've practiced on the 390, and the transitioning is very easy. So if you are starting out, you're a young guy, you're buying this first motorcycle, don't be disheartened that you have less power, but just enjoy the riding experience and try to learn the handling into the corners. Because when you're stepping up to the 390, the bigger brother, or even a 790, why not that? Why not that? If KTM India is listening, bring it on. We want it in India very soon, and you're gonna step onto that, and you're gonna feel that you already have that training, which if you start on a 150cc commuter, which has a similar power, maybe even similar acceleration, not the same type of feel, but when you move on to the big bike, it's like learning to ride motorcycles all over again. Not with this motorcycle. Still hasn't heated up, guys. Still hasn't heated up. Immensely flickable motorcycle. We have lots of speed guns, guys, so I don't know.